Caring for butterflies from caterpillars to delicate winged adults is a rewarding journey that lets you experience nature itself at the same time. In this video, we'll show you how to raise butterflies at home, covering everything from feeding hungry caterpillars to setting up a proper habitat, plus a step-by-step care guide from egg to adult. Why raise butterflies? For one, it dramatically boosts their survival rate. In the wild, fewer than 1 in 10 monarch eggs will survive to become an adult butterfly. With a little effort, you can witness that amazing metamorphosis up close and even give local butterfly populations a helping hand. Just be prepared. Raising butterflies does require daily attention and care. Some enthusiasts liken it to a part-time job. But the payoff is an unforgettable experience for nature lovers, students, and anyone curious about the insect world. Butterfly caterpillars have very specific appetites. Each species usually eats only its host plant. For example, monarch butterfly caterpillars only eat milkweed species, while pipevine swallowtail caterpillars feed on pipevine. And painted lady caterpillars favor thistle or mallow. It's vital to identify the correct host plant for your caterpillar. They won't eat just any leaves. Make sure you have plenty of this food plant on hand. You'll be surprised how fast caterpillars can chew through it. Fresh foliage is essential, so provide new pesticide-free leaves or cuttings every day. Caterpillars get moisture from fresh leaves, so they generally don't need additional water. In fact, excess wetness can breed mold. A tiny newly hatched caterpillar may nibble just a small piece of one leaf, but an older 5th instar caterpillar can devour multiple large leaves in a day. Always wash host plant cuttings to remove any pesticides or parasites, and pat them dry before feeding. To keep leaves fresh longer, you can place stems in a small water container. Some raisers poke milkweed stems through holes in a jar lid to keep them in water without risking caterpillars falling in. This keeps leaves turgid for a day or two, but remember to change out any wilted or moldy food promptly. Once your butterfly emerges, its feeding needs change. Adult butterflies sip nectar and other liquids. If you plan to release your butterfly within a few hours of it emerging, you may not need to feed it at all. New adults often don't feed on their first day. However, if you keep a butterfly for longer due to bad weather or for observation, you can offer nourishment. A simple homemade nectar can be made by mixing about 1 part sugar to 9 parts water. Boil this sugar water solution to help it dissolve and sterilize it, let it cool, and then offer it on a sponge or cotton ball. Never leave open pools of liquid as butterflies can fall in and drown. Sugary liquids left open also ferment or become sticky, which can gum up a butterfly's proboscis. Instead, soak a sponge or paper towel in the nectar solution so the butterfly can safely sip. Fresh fruit is another great food source. Slices of overripe watermelon, oranges, or bananas provide sugar and water. In fact, some butterflies prefer rotting fruit to flower nectar in the wild. Place a few pieces of juicy fruit in the enclosure and watch for the butterfly to unroll its long proboscis to drink. Replace fruit every day or two before it dries out or molds. Make sure any nectar you provide is at room temperature, as cold liquid can inhibit feeding. Put the feeder up high in the enclosure if possible. Butterflies instinctively flutter upward and look for food toward the top of their habitat. Lastly, always keep feeders clean to avoid bacterial growth. With proper feeding, your butterfly will have the energy it needs for its next big adventure, whether that's mating, migrating, or just fluttering around your garden. Now, let's talk about creating a safe and clean habitat for your butterflies. You'll likely use 2 setups: a small container for eggs and tiny caterpillars, and a larger enclosure when caterpillars grow big and for butterfly emergence. For butterfly eggs or the tiniest caterpillars, called neonates, a small plastic container with a lid like a Tupperware or deli cup works well. Line the bottom with a paper towel or coffee filter. You can add a few drops of water to the paper towel, just enough to keep it slightly damp to help keep leaves from drying out. Now, place the host plant leaf with the egg or baby caterpillar on the paper towel, egg side up, so the egg stays dry. Then click or loosely place the lid on. Surprisingly, you don't need air holes at this stage. Opening the container twice a day provides enough ventilation for hatchlings, and fewer holes help keep the humidity stable for the leaf. Very tiny caterpillars can actually escape through vent holes, so a solid lid that's briefly opened daily is safer. Keep the container in bright, natural light but out of direct sun because direct sunlight can overheat the tiny habitat in minutes. Every day, clean the container. Open it up, gently remove the leaf with the caterpillar attached to it, dump out any droppings or frass on the paper towel, and wipe any excess moisture or mold. Then add a fresh paper towel and fresh host plant leaves and set the caterpillar back inside. Because the babies are so small and delicate, avoid touching them directly. Let them crawl onto fresh leaves rather than picking them up. Starting your caterpillars in a small enclosure makes it easier to keep track of them and keep their environment clean. After a week or so, when your caterpillars grow larger, they will need more space and food. At this point, transfer them to a larger enclosure, ideally a mesh-sided butterfly habitat or tent. You can purchase collapsible mesh butterfly cages, often called butterfly pavilions or laundry hampers. These cages allow plenty of airflow, preventing harmful moisture buildup, and have rough textured sides that caterpillars and emerging butterflies can easily cling to. Avoid glass or smooth plastic tanks for raising caterpillars. Because caterpillars cannot grip smooth vertical surfaces well, and more importantly, a newly emerged butterfly cannot climb glass to hang its wings. If a butterfly slips off a slick surface before its wings dry, it may never be able to fly properly. Netted enclosures also make cleaning easier, as there are many have zip openings for easy access. Place a few sticks or branches inside the cage to give caterpillars more surface to climb on and pupate from. Continue to line the bottom of the enclosure with paper towels or clean newspaper to catch frass. Replace these daily or every couple of days as needed. Position the enclosure in a bright area of your home, out of direct sunlight, and away from vents or drafts. Temperature should be around 75–85 degrees Fahrenheit to speed growth. Significantly cooler temps will slow development. Cleanliness is crucial in the habitat. Caterpillars are eating machines, and thus pooping machines if left unchecked. Frass or poop can mold, which can cause and spread disease. The golden rule is there should be no moisture buildup and no mold in the cage. Open the mesh lid or door daily to allow fresh air exchange. If you ever notice condensation inside, dry it out and check that your leaves aren't too wet. Wash your hands before and after handling leaves or caterpillars to avoid transmitting any harmful bacteria or chemicals. Many successful raisers even sanitize their enclosures between broods with a mild bleach solution to kill any pathogen spores. Despite your best efforts, sometimes issues arise. Overcrowding can stress caterpillars and promote disease, so don't cram too many in one cage. Only 1 to a few per medium enclosure is a safe rule. If you notice a caterpillar acting lethargic, turning dark, or refusing to eat, it could be ill. Isolate any sick caterpillar immediately in a separate container to protect the others. Unfortunately, not every caterpillar will survive to become a butterfly. Some may perish from infections or internal parasites. For instance, tachinid flies often lay eggs in monarch larvae outdoors. Those parasitized caterpillars might die during pupation. If you see strange white strings or maggots emerging from a chrysalis, that's the work of a tachinid fly. Dispose of it and clean the area. Don't be discouraged if you lose a few. Even expert breeders have losses, and learning from them is part of the process. By maintaining a clean, ventilated enclosure and promptly removing any signs of disease, you'll greatly improve your butterfly's odds. When the caterpillars are ready to pupate, they usually climb to the top of the cage or a branch and hang in a J shape. Ensure the enclosure's ceiling is accessible and not overly smooth, as the caterpillar will spin a silk pad and hang from it to turn into a chrysalis. Once the chrysalis is formed, do not disturb it. It will hang quietly for about 10 to 14 days while the transformation within takes place. Now is a good time to transfer the chrysalis to a larger flight cage if you had the caterpillar in a smaller container. You can gently move a chrysalis by relocating whatever it's attached to, for example, the lid or stick it's on, and pin or tape that inside a bigger mesh cage. Provide at least a foot or more of clear vertical space below a chrysalis for the butterfly to emerge and hang. Many raisers use a pop-up mesh hamper as a convenient tall emergence cage. The chrysalis stage for most butterflies lasts about 1 to 2 weeks. About 24–48 hours before the butterfly emerges, you'll notice the chrysalis change color. It often turns dark or transparent, and you can see the wing colors inside. That means it's almost showtime. Eclosure is the term for a butterfly emerging from its chrysalis. This typically happens in the late morning. One day, you'll check and find a brand new butterfly hanging from the now empty chrysalis shell with crumpled wet wings. The butterfly will instinctively climb upwards, usually clinging to the top mesh of the cage, and hang quietly while it pumps blood into its wings to expand them. It needs a few hours for the wings to fully expand and dry stiff. Do not touch or disturb the butterfly during this critical period. Avoid jostling the cage. Any fall at this stage could be fatal or cause deformed wings. It's a good idea to keep the enclosure closed to prevent the butterfly from fluttering out too soon. After roughly 3 hours, the butterfly's wings should be fully dry. You might see it start to flutter around the cage, indicating it's ready for flight. Now comes the triumphant moment. Release your butterfly. Gently place your hand in the cage. Often the butterfly will step onto your finger. Take it outside and let it fly off to a nearby tree or flower. If it's reluctant, you can set it on a flower and watch it find its first sip of real nectar in the wild. If weather does not permit immediate release, say it's storming, you can keep the butterfly overnight. In that case, feed the butterfly inside the enclosure using the sugar water or fruit once its wings are dry. A butterfly can be kept for a day or two this way. Just be sure to release it at the next opportunity. Keeping a healthy butterfly in captivity long-term isn't recommended, unless it's a species that cannot survive locally. For monarchs, avoid releasing late in the day near dusk. Give them a few hours of daylight to find food and shelter. Finally, celebrate what you've accomplished. Not every egg will make it to this stage. So if you successfully released a butterfly, that's a big win for you and the butterfly. You've helped increase its chances of survival dramatically. In summary, a well-designed butterfly house is clean, ventilated, escape-proof for tiny larvae, and offers both soft mesh surfaces and adequate space for the emerging butterfly. A little effort in maintaining the habitat goes a long way to ensure healthy butterflies. We hope this step-by-step guide gives you the confidence to try raising a butterfly yourself. If you found this guide helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more care guides, breeding tips, and hands-on experiences on pets. Until next time.